Good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk RC with myself, JMH RC, and RC Basherboi. Let's talk. So, just getting us going. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday, a great weekend. Mine has been pretty awesome so far. So it is open panel tonight. So we will talk about whatever comes up. I'm curious if anybody's been doing any RCing this weekend. I actually got to do quite a bit of RC today. Posting the link to get up on the panel if you want to join. So I've actually been, I'm actually out of town. If you can tell in the background, I'm in a hotel doing live stream tonight, but I am in Mobile, Alabama, and had a little mini vacation with my son before he goes back to school. And we went today into Mississippi and met up with the Mississippi RC Outlaws. And hey, Guru RC, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for joining. But met up with the RC Outlaw guys in Mississippi, and they had a comp today. So got to take part in their comp, which is a little different than what I'm used to. So that was awesome to hang out with some people I knew. Asian, aka Alfredo, who has a Gen 8 Predator. So I had my Predator there. He had his. Got to compete against each other and hang out. Got to see some great rigs, some great crawling, great course, and had a good day outside RCing today. So I hope everybody else has been able to do something similar. I know there were some events today. I think an event at Stone Mountain, I believe, today. So hopefully everybody is having a great weekend. Tomorrow I get to Roadside. How's it going, Troy? Welcome. We plan to hit the road tomorrow and head back to Florida, sadly. But I will have some video coming up in the next week or two from today. Got some video of myself in Class 2, a little bit of Class 1, and some of the others. So if you watch the channel, look forward to seeing some competition action. So anybody else? Troy, you doing any RCing today or this weekend? Yeah, the storm. I'm not too worried about the storm. I'm northeast Florida, so once I get home, shouldn't be much of an issue. So I guess I should check up on the storm. I haven't checked on it in a while. So I guess I can do that while I'm chatting with you guys. Oh, I think I saw something on Facebook about Big Buddha's had something going on today. That's awesome. I really want to get up there and check out Big Buddha's RC ranch some point in the future, maybe next year. So, Joe, welcome. And you got the Super Baja Ray Dirty today. Awesome. Very good. So let's see what they say about the storm. Woodside, I am in Hilton Hotel in Daphne, Alabama. Oh, it looks like path may have changed. Thankfully, I come over here for work sometimes, Mobile, Alabama area, as well as New Orleans. So I've actually stayed in this hotel many times. So I'm used to used to this area. So let's see. So yeah, me and my son came over for mini vacation. My son loves uh, military boats. So we came over here because they have the USS Alabama that's parked in the bay here in Mobile. So we actually toured that yesterday. Good evening, Gabe. Welcome. So we toured the USS Alabama. They also have a World War II submarine there, the USS Drum. I actually got to go inside that. I thought that was really cool. I'd never been inside a submarine before. Paul Pittman, welcome. But along with the battleship and stuff, they also have a bunch of airplanes and stuff. I got to see in person, the very first time I've ever seen one in person, a Blackbird. It was an A-12 Blackbird. That was pretty awesome from my perspective. I used to have a toy Blackbird back in the day. It was about 3 foot long that I played with as a kid. So it was pretty cool to see one in person. Just, the history behind those things is unreal. So, but all kinds of other planes they had there. They had a helicopter. Well, I call it Marine One, but it's actually, I guess, in this instance, it was Navy One because it was a Navy helicopter that I think a couple of the Reagan, Carter, and the first Bush were all transported on. So that was cool. Roadside, the Huntsville Space Center is really fun. I'll need to look into that. Definitely. Thank you. I'll keep that in memory for future. So it makes me want to go back to, I've been to Washington, D.C. before, and I want to I've been before, but I want to go back to the Air and Space Museum in D.C. I think it'd be cool to take my son up there because there's some really cool stuff up there too. So Gabe, do you get to do any RCing yet this weekend, or you've been too busy? So it is open panel. I'll put the link up again if anybody wants to jump on. Troy, Cape Canaveral is about 2.5 hours from where I live, south of me. I've actually been there a few times. I was there in 5th or 6th grade, which was a really long time ago. It was pretty cool. And then was there probably 4 or 5 years ago. My son was probably about 3 or 4 the last time I was there. I'd like to go back again. So now that he's older and enjoys that stuff a little bit more, I think he'd probably enjoy Cape Canaveral. Yeah, between airplanes and you did the Yorktown, right, buddy?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So Paul, thank you for that. My son went with his mother here about a month and a half ago. They went to Charleston and did the Yorktown. He didn't go into the submarine because he didn't want to, and did the destroyer and some of the airplanes and stuff. So they spent a day there. That yay right there happens to be my son, who's on my backup phone. But yeah, so sadly I didn't get to go to that. I wish I could have went and seen that myself because I've never been on an aircraft carrier before. That would have been cool. So what's everybody got going on RCing wise this weekend? Troy had big Buddhas. Um, uh, Troy, I can't say that I have. I'm not sure what those are. I need to search those up right now to see what they are. Oh, I think I do know what you're talking about. And I bought a kit that we haven't put together yet. So I got to find it. I don't know if his mom got rid of it or not. But I bought a kit that I think was probably a little out of my league for my first one. And I should have bought a cheaper one that's like, pretty much ready to go. And I bought one that needed fully put together. It was 2 rockets that needed to be fully assembled and painted. Because I've never done rockets in all my life, even as a kid. I never got to do that. So it's something I do want to do. So I believe we got open panel tonight. Next Saturday, we will have a special guest on. Troy, that the Ecto, I got to drive Exo Caged RC's Element Ecto last weekend, and man, I gotta say, I am super impressed with the Ecto. My Trail Walker has been a great rig. Love my Trail Walker. That Ecto is well balanced out from the factory. Super well balanced rig. And I am truly thinking about getting one for my Comp 2 rig because, it really only needs a couple little things. Ultimately, you put a 1080 ESC on there, either some different foams in the stock tires or just some good tires and foams. And honestly, just that is good enough. That's a great rig. And I've been watching your videos on that as well. But that rig really impressed me. Paul, that sounds awesome. An overnight camp out on the flight deck, the Yorktown, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Troy, Class 2 ready, rig, out the box. I think it's awesome that Element has basically went right after the competition people, and I'm sort of that. KBRC, welcome.
Hey, man.
Hey. But yeah, Class 2 ready rig right out the box. If somebody was brand new to RC and wanted to compete, they could buy that rig and not do anything and actually go out and start learning and competing. People a little bit more serious, a couple small modifications, and you're out there truly competing because that rig's very capable. See you later, Troy. So Gabe asked about the new Element RC Night Runner. I haven't really read up on it personally, but I've heard about it, and I think the body's cool. I heard somebody talking about it today. I think the body's cool, but I wouldn't buy a rig. I wouldn't buy the rig. I think it's my understanding it's IFS on it. I'm not an IFS fan. But the body would be cool for a build. I know somebody today was like, yeah, I'm going to wait till the body comes out and just buy the body and use it on something. So that's my thoughts. Gabe, is it something you're considering? So KB, what you got going on?
Oh, man, I don't know what happened to I just went to charge a battery. I got the Traxxas, it's just a nickel metal hydride, but it took like 3 minutes to charge, and it was totally dry. You think something's wrong with the
3 minutes and it was fully charged?
Yeah, there was, and then I went out and drove it, and it just went, and that was it.
Yeah,
Weird.
something definitely don't sound right. I would maybe recharge it, and then as soon as it's charged, like, do you have a discharge function on your charger?
Yeah, but I don't. It's nickel metal hydride, so I'm not sure. I'm sure it does. It's the Traxxas Easy Peak, but
Yeah,
the
because
charge.
I don't know that charger, so I can't say. But if you have the ability to
Yeah,
discharge it, I would discharge the back. I mean, you can obviously run it and discharge it, but just discharge
yeah,
it
that's
to the
what I
back.
usually do. I run it and
Yeah.
discharge it.
But yeah, it sounds like something's off on it, but you might be able to bring it back to life by
Yeah,
discharging it, charging it, discharging it, charging it.
because it usually takes like an hour or more than that to charge a battery. But
Yeah.
that was like I came in here and was waiting for you, and it went diddly ding. I'm like, I just put that thing on there. What the heck's going on? And I ran it the other day, and it was like I charged it, and it's like, man, there's nothing. It was in a crawler, Beanfield's crawler. I'm like, it's not even any juice in there. What's going on with this battery? It's a 5,000 milliamp too. It's the big one.
Yeah, that should have lasted a while.
Yeah, they usually last me like 2.5, 3 hours, and it's like there was nothing.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, it definitely sounds like something's up with it.
Other than that, I'm going. There's going to be a cool place. They're building. It's not an overpass, but they're digging out. I guess they're going to build a tunnel. I don't know. It's awesome. I'm going to go over there crawling. It's like probably 20 feet down.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Dennis, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad, man. Just got home from a double course comp tonight.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
Yeah, good. I placed fourth,
Nice. Very
and
good.
my boss did a DNF, and my boss meaning Jeremiah Smith from UGRC.
Okay.
I actually got him out to do a comp today.
Nice.
He
I actually
ran another
I just messaged him a little bit ago. I hadn't heard from him, but I messaged him. So.
Yeah, he put a truck together last night in about 3 hours on the same chassis that I'm running right now. He used all Element, and it was IFS front end.
Okay.
Wheelbase measured out at 12.8.
Gabe, have a good one.
Honestly, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just telling him Gabe was heading out. I was telling him to see him later.
Oh, yeah. And to be honest, that truck ran really good, except for the electronics. He just grabbed what he had laying around and threw it in. It just a cheap brushed dynamite motor. It was brand new, 35 turn. He had an old 1060 laying around, and just put an old 25 kg servo in it. The truck ran really good, super quiet. I mean, it surprised everybody. It ran that good.
Nice. Yeah, today in the comp that I did here in Mississippi, we had 2 Predators there. So that was cool.
So why do you run no oil in your shocks?
Me on the ones that I'm running, just because I'm doing full droop and the cheap shocks that I bought, they weren't really made to have oil in them. So, and it works. That's all I gotta say is it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's people that won't do it, and they recommend this, and I actually bought a nice set of
Oh my God, my internet.
Yeah, I bought a nice set of the desert lizard shocks.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
problem is actually it raised my rig up. So the ones that I'm running, I'm actually lower by a few millimeters lower than with the desert lizards on full droop on them. So those I think are now on my class 3 rig that I need to finish. But
I bought a set of them. I didn't like them too much.
yeah, I was a little disappointed. I mean, they look nice quality, but
Yeah.
when it raised my rig up, I was like, just didn't do it for me. So I see Dennis that Guru was asking if y'all are doing anything tomorrow locally.
No, and I wanted to mention that tonight. Unfortunately, the spot that we go to Nelson's Ledges, somebody decided to go out there with bashers and create havoc last week.
I saw the post that somebody made
Yeah.
about
And
the,
we are
the
not allowed to hold events there right now. Yeah, they revoked the permit for RC 330 for doing his charity event, and I can't even call and apply for mine.
That
So
really
I'm
bites, man.
Yeah, and you know, everybody that's been out there knows that when we're out there, we're on the rock. We're not tearing up the trails. We're not tearing up vegetation. And it was one bad apple went out, decided they were going to bash with an X-Max, a Slash, whatever it was. And they just ruined it for everybody right now to do anything. There's a group going out there tomorrow. I wish them luck because I'm not going. But there was also the guy that was supposed to do his charity event next weekend had posted that one of the guys that was there last week with them had showed him bashing in one of the cricks that come out of what they call the Devil's Icebox. And I mean, he was just full stab on it with the TRX4 on 4S, just beating a dog snot out of it. And right to the entrance of the cave is a hill about 75, 80 degrees, and it's all dirt with fresh vegetation growing. And we come to find out that it was all destroyed.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's not too many happy people right now about it. And I'm probably the one that's not happiest at all.
Yeah.
Because I've been going for the last couple of years and never had a problem. Division of Wildlife, they come up, they talk with me, they look at it, and they think what I was doing for 11 Charlie was pretty cool because a couple of the guys are ex-military that are there.
Yeah.
So
question then for you, Dennis, because when I seen the post the other day, my first thought was, well, your event, you're supposed to have your event in September. What's this going to do to your event? So I know you said that you can't apply for a permit for your event. So
I can't do it at all.
So you're not going to do the event at all right now?
No, I have nowhere to do it now.
Okay.
I'm trying to find another location that's around the same travel time.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is anywhere that I can find, I need to be able to accommodate minimum 60 cars parked. And the metro parks around here frown on you hosting anything. They don't like the big groups of guys going out. They don't mind 3 or 4 guys at a time. It's just the large groups. They don't want them out there.
Yeah.
And this is a first that I've had an issue at all. Now, Squire's Castle, that's that's about a half-hour drive for me, Guru. A lot of guys are talking that they're going out to Nelson's Ledges tomorrow. They also want to go to Whip's Ledges in Hinckley, which isn't bad, but I think I'm just going to lay low right now. I just got done making some stuffed banana peppers and jalapenos for tomorrow night's dinner that I'm going to be doing on the grill. So I'm going to just spend some quality time with the wife tomorrow.
Understand. Yeah, definitely a few bad apples can ruin it for everybody, for sure.
Exactly.
HRC, welcome. That's definitely sad to hear, because I've seen so many videos from quite a few different people for Nelson's Ledges, so
Yeah.
to hear that what I can tell is a popular place and a fun place to crawl is sort of off limits.
I mean, that is where I met UGRC. I met him there 2 years ago before he actually started UGRC with the Predator. And it's like I said, it's just sad that somebody had to go there and destroy an area that everybody could go and enjoy.
Yep.
And I had my rift there one time, and that was it. I ran it one time in one spot. I didn't go near anybody because I knew if I was near somebody, and if somebody got close to it or got away, that they were going to get hurt bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see what it was actually capable of. And as soon as my battery went, I was done. I didn't do anything else. I packed it up and called it a day.
Yeah, we had a similar thing happen here, except not a public park like Nelson's Ledges is, but we had, when I first started getting into crawling 2 years ago, there was this place, private property, that had massive, humongous dirt hills on, and a lot of the local guys would go there and crawl, and they had actually carved trails and stuff through these dirt hills. The problem was it's a pretty big piece of property. The off-road quads and stuff, guys would like to go there and run quads and stuff. But most of the ones that would go there, they'd come out there and they would litter and, of course, tearing stuff up. And it got to the point where the landowners basically called the cops, and they started issuing trespassing warrants and stuff against people for going. I think I went one time, and then a bunch of people got hey, if I catch you back here again, you're going to jail type stuff. And I'm like, yep, not going back there again. And I think some people still go from time to time, but it's like one of those, if you get caught,
that's the other thing. That was the other thing with Nelson's Ledges, is there used to be a food truck that went out, and you could buy corn dogs, fries, lemonade, stuff like that. Just little carnival stuff. And there was no garbage cans around. Since the pandemic hit, they took everything out. Well, people were leaving all their garbage on the trails, and we'd go in there with bags and we'd pick up as we were driving. And then people started getting caught down at the one end.
Oh, he
sort of fell out.
Yeah. We got the same place over here. It's called the Blue Hole. It's a low water crossing where they go swimming all the time and everything. And I go down there rock crawling, but now they got rebar all up and all the stuff where they made a path. They got it all piled up so you can't go in there. No trespassing and all this stuff.
So Dennis, Guru RC was asking about Garfield Park.
Yeah, I have to go back out in the living room. My internet just dropped me in there.
Yeah.
Garfield Park, I wouldn't even want to go down there. Not only is it patrolled by the park rangers, but it's also patrolled by local police. And it's not an area that I would recommend.
Gotcha.
Not at all.
Welcome, Green Frog.
But like I was saying, a lot of people leave their garbage around. They've gotten in trouble for being down at the other end in that spot I was talking about, Devil's Icebox. They're down there smoking pot. They're down there drinking. There was a guy at my last event that I actually had to kick out of there was smoking meth. And those are the ones that are ruining it for everybody down there right now.
Absolutely agree. And Green Frog, the events they've been holding there at Nelson's Ledges, they've had permits for them, so it's actually they've had permission. It's just that some people have went in there on their own and wreaked havoc, bashing, and created complaints basically, and they are now revoking permits for RC stuff there.
Yeah, and it's not only there, it's any other state park in the area right now is they're watching for anybody going in with RC cars. So I wouldn't recommend going in any parks right now, whether it's a state park or a metro park. The state park, oh man, from what I've heard from my wife, she had talked to the one officer that came out during my event, and he said that there is a possibility if you're caught there with any RC car right now that you could be fined, you could be kicked out, or you could be fined and kicked out.
Yeah, that's
It's
horrible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of lay low out there for a while and try to let it kind of blow over. See if maybe we can get back out there before the weather starts getting crappy out. It's not like it's not right now. We've had rain for 4 days straight, and then this week, starting tomorrow night, we're supposed to have rain till next weekend again.
I'm so over the rain. Now, granted, I've been over here in Mobile since Thursday, and pretty much have had good weather the whole time. But
Thank you. Thank you.
It's rained every day.
That was the other boss.
So, hey, the good news is she's not in the hospital.
Yeah.
At least not right this moment.
Who are you talking to?
We have John from JMH RC.
Hi.
Hello.
We have Keith.
He looks like, you know who you look like, Keith? You look like the guy on Deadliest Catch.
That's John.
I know who you're talking about.
Every time I see you, I'm like, ooh, he's so hot.
Oh, geez. Don't you have somewhere to go? But
power off for 3 days. Now that would suck.
Yeah, I actually had a solution to the power loss here Wednesday night. I have a little battery backup for computers that is brand new. I put a full charge on it, and when the power went out, I plugged in that lamp, and it ran for about 5.5 hours till we got our power back. And we were the only one around here that had electric actually working in their apartment.
Wow.
What I'm getting swamped is scorpions. Found 2 last night. Found 2 today. Like, man, just all over this house.
Well, you guys are getting a lot of rain right now too, aren't you?
It's been pretty dry. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah. Comes and goes, man.
yeah, they're probably trying to find a cool spot to hang out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest issue with the rain is, well, I just don't like it. I mean, you need it, I realize, but like, my RC drag cars, I want to go out and play with those every afternoon. It rains like an hour before I want to go out. It soaks everything, and it's like, oh, there goes testing.
That's how it used to be when I went to car shows. When I put my Oldsmobile, every first Sunday there was a car show. I used to go car and coffee, and 80% of the time it rained every first Sunday of the month. It's like, oh man.
Yeah. See, I'm a car guy, and it would never fail. I'd wash my nice car, and I'd wash it to go cruise or do whatever, and sure enough, it's gonna rain because I just washed it.
Yeah, I'd wash my truck at work before I come home on a Friday, and it would rain Friday night and Saturday. So I told my wife, I'm not washing my truck on Fridays anymore.
Problem with my Cutlass, I'd have to start a week before the car show and wax it and clean it all up and all that stuff, and then it rains.
What kind of Cutlass?
72 Oldsmobile.
Okay.
Yeah. My mother bought it new in 72, and she gave it to me when I graduated from high school.
Nice.
It's a ragtop.
442 or?
No, it's got a 350 in it. It's not a 442. Okay. But it's dual exhaust and 4-barrel, but yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You never seen it? I'll show a picture of it to you.
I'm not sure if I have or not.
Let me see if I can find it.
Convertible version of the USS Minnow. They weren't small, I know that.
No. I had that on the trunk for a long time.
Here, let me see if I can hang on a sec. I'm gonna spotlight you here. Oh, it's like a that reminds me of my my old car me and my dad had, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I painted it with model paint, the little model paints.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's when I was working in about 85, 86. That's what she looked like. And then this is what we did after one of the car shows. There's a plane there, and the car next to the plane.
I like the green.
Yeah. That was, that movie, Play It to the Bone?
Play It to the Bone. I feel like I've heard of it, but I can't picture it.
Yeah, it's got Veniel Ventez in it, and guy from Cheers. What's that other guy's name? The bartender from Cheers. Played in White Man Can't Jump.
Okay.
There are 2 boxers, and the girl, they dated the same girl, and she drove him from California to the Vegas, and they drove in a 72 Oldsmobile Cutlass, this color green. So I'm like, man, I love green, so that's the color I painted it. Me and my dad painted it.
Ted Danson. Is that who it was?
No, it was the other one, Woody. Not Woody, yeah.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, yeah, Woody Harrelson.
Okay. And since we're sort of slightly on the topic of cars here, y'all hear that Lamborghini's going to come back out with the Countach.
Are they really?
Yeah, it's the first time ever that they've ever brought back a name.
Wow.
So there's already been pictures released of it, and don't look too bad, to be honest. I think they've done a good job.
Well, the last year for that was what, 78, 79?
Somewhere in the 70s, and that's right now. That's from the pictures I've seen. That's what they're targeting, is that original body style. Countach has always been one of my favorite cars. That and an F1 McLaren.
Right.
And as a kid, I had multiple pictures of a Countach on my wall, but they were more of the 80s styles Countaches. Those seem to be the ones that became really popular with the big wing and everything. But this is like the late 70s or whenever it was they first came out. From what I've seen in the pictures, I think they've done a pretty decent job.
That was the one on Cannonball Run, right?
Yeah, that was a Countach. That was a little that was in the 80s style, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid.
Hybrid, yeah.
I'll try to find a picture and share it up here on the screen. A lot of talk about it.
I don't really know about, we're talking about cars, like the battery, the hybrid cars or the fully battery cars. You save gas, but you're still using energy to charge it. So.
Oh yeah, and the stuff to create those batteries.
Yeah.
That's why they cost so much. And I know here in Ohio, if you own a hybrid, you have a $2,000 EPA tax that you have to pay. And you pay that yearly.
So here, I found.
Oh, that bites, man. You can't even get out from, you don't have no more car payment, but you have to pay taxes on it.
So this is the pictures that were released of the new Countach. It's the back.
I like the back. What they should have done on the front was drop the headlights down a little bit more. Bring them down toward the bumper some more.
Yeah. And you see, in this one, you see in the background, there's an original Countach in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, back there.
So you can sort of see the back of it. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a car person. I have been all my life. I always will be. When all the major manufacturers, Ford, GM, Dodge, started bringing back and doing the retro cars, I'm a Chevy person at heart, always will be. But since they re-brought the Camaro back out, to me, it's ugly. Sorry. I do like the Z28 because of the aggressiveness of the way it is. But overall, I think the Camaros are ugly compared to late 90s, early 2000s F bodies. The Ford Mustangs, to me, are hideous. They've gotten a little better in the last few years. Dodge knocked it out of the park, in my opinion, when they brought back the Challenger and the Charger.
Yeah.
But most of the manufacturers have missed it. And I feel like here, Lamborghini, I feel like has nailed it. Is it exactly like the original? No, it's not supposed to be exactly like the original, but I think it has just enough of the original. There's another picture. Here's side views with the original in the background.
Yeah, I like the one in the foreground better. It looks better than the background and the original.
But
yeah,
I think
there's more of the originality in the fender wells.
Yes, I think they've taken enough of the right stuff, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Here's this picture. This is pretty cool. They've taken enough of the right stuff to make them, to make it worthy of the name, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I felt like when Ford brought the Machs back, which I'm gonna be honest, I hated the original Mach Mustangs. Like I never liked them. I know some people really love them, but when they brought, I don't know, I felt like they tried too hard. Same thing with GM. I felt like GM tried too hard with the Camaro to make it look like the original. It's like you're not going to make it look like the original because the only way you're going to do that is to make the original. I almost felt like they tried too hard and killed it. I feel like here they've done a good job from what I've seen so far. So,
yeah, I think what killed Chevy with the Camaro was, if you look at it at a profile, there's more door than there is window.
mm-hmm.
It's almost like you have to sit on the ground because you only have, I think it's 19 inches of side glass, which isn't a lot, but you have 42 inches of door. You know, try to balance it out a little bit, bring the car down some, the body. I mean, from the back it looks good. The front's not that bad, but I like the 80s style bodies that they had, and all the 60s and 70s were nice.
Yeah.
So
on the motor side, it's a 6.5 liter V12 putting out 770 brake horsepower. And then it's mated to a 48 volt electric motor that adds an extra 34 brake horsepower, putting it at 804 brake horsepower total. And it's that motor is powered by a supercapacitor rather than a lithium ion battery. And 4-wheel drive.
My buddy had an IROC Z28. Yeah, that's what he had.
IROCs were great looking cars in my opinion, but they
were dogs.
They were dogs. They were dogs.
My boss had
when the Cavalier of that time could run with it.
Yeah.
My boss has an 88 IROC, but he's got a LS1 in it right now on a chassis dyno, a chassis at 590 with a Tremec 6-speed in it. And he's got a 2002 RS with the exact same motor, exact same transmission. And he decided he was going to sign up for the stick shift class this year to race because his regular drag car is not ready. And that car runs 1120s, 11 teens all day long. Goes through the lights at around 115 to 120 at 1122.
Nice.
Now he's just got to get it to quit spinning the tires when he takes off.
Yeah.
And he's got the drag radials on it, everything. The car's set up for track. It's too crazy to drive on the road.
I had an Oldsmobile Delta 88. I think it was a 1980 or it had a big 350 in it. And I turned the air cleaner over and it had the 4-barrel on it. So when you punch it, it go boom, woo, and it just sit there. I watch the gas gauge go down and the speedometer stays the same. Like, what the heck? Let's talk about a dog.
Jeremiah was telling me today that this chassis that he's doing with the IFS on it, that Joe, he wants to do a build series on it once he gets that chassis into production.
I don't know.
Because we've got, just from today being at the comp, we've got, I think, 10 or 12 guys interested. They're already asking for them. And they won't go into production until mid-September.
I'm ready to get my hands on this V2 Predator.
Tell you what, it's a nice setup. Really is.
I'm also
Get
ready
that.
to I'm ready to get my hands on that transmission too.
I was going to say, get the chassis, the skid, and the transmission. Because he might even do a link set with him this year. We were talking about that the other night when I was over there.
Well, see, I was told today that the original skid, basically the skid I have already,
Right.
is the same skid for the V2 chassis. It's just new rails, is what I was told. I haven't heard that from him. Let me first say that too. That's through another source.
Yet he's got a lot of stuff going on right now. He's actually doing a Class 1 truck.
He sent me pictures of that.
The square body on it.
Well, what he sent me pictures of was just a chassis and axles. There was no body. So
that's the truck to watch out for as soon as we can get out and get it tested.
Yeah, he'd asked me a while back. He wanted me to. That's been a long time ago, really. He wanted me to do Predator chassis on my Trail Walker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's my Class 1 rig. Like, I'm not going to do that. I can't. It's my Class 1 rig. So, but now that he's working on a Class 1 chassis, I'm like, okay, I might consider it now. And Paul Pittman's asking any thoughts on the new Red Cat Marksman. I haven't had the opportunity to read up on it a whole lot. I've seen pictures and a couple brief video slides. I think it looks cool. I'm glad Red Cat's come out with something else.
I haven't even seen it yet.
I know that some people say it's just a Wendigo, basically with a different body. I mean, I've heard that. I'm not saying that's the truth, just that's what I've heard.
Right. They used the Wendigo base on it and just changed a little bit of the driveline setup around.
But the reality is then it's based off of Gen 8 because the Wendigo was based off of Gen 8.
Right.
So, I mean, so then it's really just a Gen 8 with, with straight axles and whatnot. So I know a couple of people saying they haven't seen it. Let me see what I can find.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I mean, it looks cool. Let me put it that way. That's about as much of it as I have seen or know. It looks cool.
I caught a glimpse of it when they first started giving sneak peeks on it. And I think might have seen it on Tanks Live one night, but I can't remember.
Here we go. This is actually off of Red Cat's site.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it was on Tanks.
I mean, it's a good looking, it's a good looking truck.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Here's a back shot.
Well,
now, I will say
this
is the first time I've seen the back.
Yeah, and
I
don't like the back.
No, that just doesn't look right.
Yeah, that disappoints me right there. Let me try.
They just put decals on it.
Yeah, especially considering like the Gen 8, for instance. They had all that detail with the lights and everything, front and back on a Gen 8, and then you do that.
Yeah,
like this view is a little bit better right here than that other angled view. It just looked really weird, but still, that's honestly disappointing. I think they have. Yeah, here's a quick crawling. I mean, it's just 27-second video.
I mean,
does it got a full interior like the axle?
No.
It's cut off.
Yeah, it's just the upper parts of the seats.
Yeah.
But at least they did one with an interior this time.
Correct. Well, granted, you had the Gen 8 Axe technically had an interior, but no, I agree with you. Let's see. Here we go. Here's an overhead shot. So,
Oh yeah, okay. It has a driver and stuff, I guess.
so you have a partial interior. There's a dash there.
Yeah.
But at least you have something, like you said, Dennis. At least there's something.
Right.
Here's the.
It's pretty clean inside.
Yeah, I mean, it does a lot to me. I mean, that battery tray, that's a Gen 8 battery tray.
Yeah, the same thing with the shock towers with the pivot mounts in there.
Now, one thing I noticed here, I'm curious. Look at the motor. That's a Holmes Hobby motor. I pulled this off Red Cat's site. Now, is this? I don't know if that's. I mean, but that's a Holmes Hobby Crawlmaster Sport. I don't know which one, but that's a Crawlmaster Sport motor right there, and that's a 1080 ESC too.
Huh.
Now, was that a testing rig, and is that why it's that way? I don't know the answer.
Now, is it an RTR or is it a kit?
Ready to run except for battery and charger.
Wow.
So Green Frog, do you know, is it coming with a Holmes Hobby motor in 1080? Is that how it's coming? Now, I think this view right here, like, to me, it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy needs a tan a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, he needs some paint work done to him.
Yeah.
So Paul's saying a Holmes motor in a 1080 factory. I mean, now that's nice. I mean, a 1080 ESC from the factory on any rig. Like,
JMH, how much is that?
Good question.
Fours?
439. I mean,
439.
keep in mind it's a little bit bigger. It's more of a 1/8 scale, but if you're getting a Holmes motor and a 1080,
Right there, they're throwing in another $70 in electronics.
yeah, I wonder what radio. It says 2.4 gigahertz radio, but doesn't.
I'm kind of curious of what servo they put in, seeing how they went with better motor and ESC.
Oh yeah, right here, Holmes Hobby Powerful 550 13-turn Crawlmaster motor. That's a good motor, very good motor. Quick run 1080. Hobby Wing EFC. So I'm trying to see.
T38 Marksman. Electronic tune fullest potential.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if it talks anything about the servo. It can run on 2 or 3S because, of course, we know that because of 1080s will do that.
Divorce transfer case.
Yeah, so it's basically, you know, I mean, it's a Gen 8, basically.
Yeah, with no portal axles.
Which is actually a good thing, honestly.
At least till they'll have support stuff. You know, the transmission will be all the same and everything. And
Now, heavy duty gears, does that mean that they put the steel gears in it this time?
Good question. Good question.
25 kg servo.
I mean, okay.
Hex fly high torque 25G digital steering servo.
So wheelbase is adjustable between 355, 361, 367, which is stock, 373, and 379.
That's long.
I'm all right with that.
I still like the Bronco.
So it has the 25 kg has metal gears, metal servo horn.
And they are calling it a 1/8 scale.
Yeah, they are. I mean, from what I'm seeing, what it's got, and what I see on the pictures, I don't like the back, but
Well,
430.
they've got a second layer of green paint in case you scrape it, it'll actually look like patina.
Nice. I would say the price is appropriate, in my opinion.
For a 1/8 scale, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a reasonable price.
yeah. And to have a Holmes motor right off the bat and a 1080, I mean,
Right.
not bad. Not bad. So thanks for asking about that. It was at Paul, because I keep meaning to come and research this at some point, and looks like it becomes available at the end of the month officially. It's on pre-order right now.
And
So-
Cross RC I think they just released it or getting ready to release it. It's another new truck. They're veering away from the hard bodies right now
Okay.
for cost. It's the FU4C portal axles, 2-speed locking and unlocking diffs. It's a different body, and a lot of people have commented it on all the cross sites, and everybody is really liking it. I like it because I might end up getting one. I mean, that's the truck. What's that?
I wonder if that's going to be the new trend, you know, like the open roll cage body. You know?
Shade Tree, I would agree. Don't overpower it and be a great, awesome trail truck. That Holmes Hobby Crawlmaster 13 turn, I think that's what I have in my original V1 Gen 8. And it's got 2 years of USTE on it and numerous trail runs and competition and stuff. That motor is phenomenal, paired with the 1080 ESC that you just can't beat for $45. I mean, that motor have plenty of wheel speed, especially on straight axle, and hold up wonderfully in that truck for a trail truck.
And they're inexpensive. They're $20.
Exactly. You can't beat the
Yeah,
cost
the
and
price point
reliability of that
is
motor.
right
You
there.
can't beat it. Can't beat it at all.
If you don't get a
I've
knockoff like I did.
I've got 3 or 4 Holmes Hobbies Trailmaster sport motors, $20. I haven't had one go bad yet. I've got the Torque Master Expert in one of my cross trucks, and that motor does great. I've got a RCing Just Climb 13 turn, 2S only.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that the undercolor paint is a brown/rust color. So that's pretty cool. I like their thinking there with that. Yeah, those Holmes motors, like you're saying, Dennis, I have let's see, I have a Trailmaster 21 turn, a Trailmaster 27 turn. I have Crawlmaster Sport 8 turn, Crawlmaster Sport 9 turn, Crawlmaster Sport 10 turn, Crawlmaster Sport 12 turn, and Crawlmaster Sport 13 turn. Out of 7 of those motors, only one has died on me. Only one.
And I'm going to say it was probably your 9 turn?
No, actually, I'm running that one right now. So it was my 8 turn. And I'm not sure why it died. I'm not upset about it. I mean, like it, not upset one bit.
Hey, $20.
Exactly. And so be it. My 13 turn, it's in my V1 Gen 8. I've actually had it in saltwater before, and like I had the whole rig in saltwater stupidly, and it sat for a week or so afterwards. The motor locked up. I pulled the motor out, broke it loose, put some oil on the ends, and it still runs to this day.
Right.
Like, with you can't tell, like no issues. The 8-turn, actually, I think something broke. Either it something come unwound on the inside or something, because it actually is physically locked. You can't turn it. If I put a screwdriver in where the fans are, and you can't turn it. So like it truly locked up.
Probably one of the windings come off.
That's what somebody else told me.
The magnet.
Yeah. And as Shade Tree says, he's a great guy and as funny as can be. Absolutely. I met him at USTE my first year. So not this year, the year before. He was there, John Holmes, and we were standing in line, and I turned around and just said, "Hey, it's nice to meet you. I love your product." And he was easy to talk to, nice, super nice guy. The Trailmaster motors are good, but those Crawlmasters, 5-slot motors, they're so smooth, especially for crawling. Fantastic motors. At $20, you just can't.
No, you can't go wrong with that.
Can't beat it at all.
Both my crawlers. I finally got the right one.
Absolutely right, Shade Tree. Absolutely.
Don't get them off Amazon.
Shade Tree, absolutely. The Crawlmaster does have a better drag brake and startup. I have been lucky enough because I am close to Exo Caged RC, so he has a lot of different motors, a bunch of different people, but particularly Holmes motors. So I've been lucky enough to run a few of his rigs or play with them with some of the nicer motors, the $100 like Crawlmaster Pros and stuff. And those things are phenomenal. And I've thought about spending $100 on one of the nicer motors, and still might. But dude, again, $20 for Crawlmaster Sport, and
right,
it works. You put it on a 1080 ESC, and
it goes right back to the old drag racing theory. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
There you go, Dennis. Thank you. Yep, absolutely.
It's like
that's basically what I've come back to is like, and I have extra ones sitting. I have a couple of the motors that aren't even being used right now. So, and too bad to bash around. Like I've bashed a couple of them around. I mean, even my comp rig it's got the 9-turn in it, which isn't really a production motor. I crawl with it obviously and compete, but I beat the tar out of it.
Yeah, I don't give mine any. I got 2 of them, the 27 turns, and I beat them. Beanfield drives them hard.
I will say I had a 27. I still have the 27 turn. The 21 turn was my first Holmes motor, and I loved it when I put it in my V1 initially. Loved that motor, and then I put the 27 turn in the Gen 7 since it was straight axle at the time. Great motor. But boy, when I got that first Crawlmaster, that 13 turn, man, to me the difference between a Crawlmaster and a Trailmaster is night and day difference.
Now the Trailmasters collect dust.
Well, pretty much you're correct. Now I will say I drove Trailmaster today. Currently, my 21 turn Trailmaster is in my Trail Walker currently. That's what's in my Trail Walker. But I'm debating on, because I still have 12 turn and an 8 turn sitting. And I'm thinking about putting the 12 turn in the Trail Walker. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 21 turn. I use it for class 1. It works great. But there's part of me that
right.
27 turn in your Unimog 6x6, that's cool. That might have been what I would have done with mine if I hadn't have done the Fusion, which I've been extremely pleased with that system. That's another nice system. It's not Holmes, but that's another very nice system. So, I was very, very happy with that purchase. That's what's in my 6x6.
You know, both of my comp rigs have the Three Brothers Yellow Jacket, and right now my 10-2 comp rig is motorless. That motor got sent back to Three Brothers last week for warranty work. The new one that I have in the UGR truck, that is a 1500 kV, and I'll tell you what, I ran it today on 3S 2700 milliamp battery, ran great. I put a 500 milliamp 3S battery in it, and it ran just as good with no cogging on startup at all. It was butter smooth. And for $65, you can't beat it.
Yeah. Paul, Shade Tree, the Fusion. Yeah, that thing is, it's awesome. That's all I can say. That startup is super smooth. That drag brake is, once you dial in the settings, is phenomenal. That's a very nice setup. Sadly, I think I'm going to have to upgrade the internals and my axles on my 6x6 pretty soon. And I may gear it down just a tad bit, but it's very pleased with that.
The stock pinion in that's a 15.
On the 6x6, I do not know off the top of my head, so I'm not sure. I have a bad habit of any motors that I put into anything. I have a bad habit of always running stock pinions. My Gen 8s, both of them, stock pinions that they had from the factory. My comp one is on stock 17 tooth.
Right.
And, I'm bad just about doing that and just leaving them alone. And so I think my comp rig, I think I'm going to drop down 1 or 2 tooth because I have plenty of wheel speed, and drop it down a tooth or two, see if I gain a little bit. Shade Tree says he thinks 14 turn. Yes, we are talking about the axial 6x6. Yeah, I'm thinking about dropping down on the Predator build, dropping down 1 or 2 teeth. I've been told that you can get a little bit more smoothness out of it. It's already smooth with the Crawlmaster, but I don't know. I'm thinking about at least trying it. So 14 pinion is what he's saying the 6x6 has.
Well, I know the 10-2s come stock with a 15 in them. I took the 15 off, put a 13 in both of them, and I might just go back to the 15 because the motor is really, really close to the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't squeeze a piece of paper in there. But yeah, they like the smaller pinion, and it just adds more torque to them, and they run cooler.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go too small, the yellow jackets get hot really quick.
Yeah, see, I might put what I'm thinking. I have my TRX4 Blazer. It still has the stock Titan motor in it. It's like 2 years old. Still runs strong. I ran it today. But I'm thinking about, do I put a Crawlmaster in that? Or do I put like the 21 Trailmaster in the TRX4 and then put one of my Crawlmasters in the Trail Walker? I don't know.
I would put the 21 in the Blazer and the Holmes in the other Holmes in the Trail Walker.
Sort of what I'm thinking.
Especially if you're competent like that.
Yeah, because the Blazer is just the Blazer is my basher crawler / I'll let anybody drive it. I don't care about that rig.
Right.
The Trail Walker, I will let anybody drive. It's a great rig, but it's also my class 1 big rig too.
I know that 550 can, the 21 turn, I had to cut out a little bit of the battery tray on the axial. On my
So I didn't cut mine, but with my 6x6, which is basically just a 10-2 battery
Yeah.
tray. I didn't cut the battery tray yet. Now I may go back and cut the battery tray. I actually took the one screw out of the battery tray in the back and twisted it up. So it actually sits on the 550 because the Fusion motor is 550, but it's a little slightly longer than a normal 550 because it's the 2-in-1. So the battery tray sort of sits on it, twisted a little bit. But I'm able to, make it fit. I was debating on cutting the battery tray, but really I want a lower center of gravity battery tray for that axial 6x6, and I haven't really been able to find anything. And people online are like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just run the battery tray that's on it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, if I get the battery a little lower, I know it will help." But Shade Tree makes a good comment here. Mechanical traction is a concept a lot of people don't get. The lower you're geared, the less loading up and spinning you will experience. And I think that's a good point that I'd say sometimes I even miss. So I definitely need to play more with my pinion settings on any of my rigs. Like I said, I have a bad habit of just running the same pinion that it had from the factory and never playing with it. And, I need to play with that more.
That's where a lot of people make the mistakes is they go with these really nice brushless setup or a nice brush motor, and they run either a stock gear or something a little bit bigger, thinking that it's going to help them, and that's when they start getting overheats and wonder how come they're breaking stuff because they're getting in such a bind that it doesn't want to move. We had a guy today snap he actually twisted the locker on the front of his Gen 7, which is a plastic locker. Because he got in a bind, ran stock gearing with a better motor, and ended up getting a DNF because he got 3 gates into the second course and couldn't go anywhere. It didn't want to pull him up anything.
Yep. But yeah, I really need to get me a Capra. Need to get a Capra.
Yes, you do.
Yep, I need one in my life. I've wanted one for a while, and I keep telling myself, wait. I need one.
Yeah,
Did you bring any rigs with you?
Yeah, I brought 3 rigs with me. I got my Predator Gen 8 Comp 2 Trail Walker, my Class 1, and my TRX4 Blazer. So I ran all 3 of them today. Obviously ran Class 2 with my Predator build. Ran some of Class 1 because we ended up getting rained out by the time we ran Class 1. We only got to run 1 stage. And then I ran the Blazer for a little bit. Just because it hadn't been running in a while, I brought it with me and I wanted to get some video. So
I didn't know you were. Oh, so I thought you went out somewhere for work, but I guess you were.
No, this wasn't work. I'm on vacation. So my son starts first day of school on Monday. So we came over here to Mobile to tour the USS Alabama. And it just so happened that the guys over here were having comp same weekend, so it sort of worked out that I got to catch up with them. So, so Joe's got a Fusion in his TRX4 and it's smooth. I didn't think about that. A Fusion and a TRX4 with a 2-speed, that would be. I bet that would be awesome, actually.
You've got more than enough room to put it in there too.
More than enough room, and obviously the Fusion isn't a lot of wheel speed, but you got I have the Blazer with a 2-speed, so I got the 2-speed transmission, so I have all the wheel speed I need with second gear. AZ Froggies, welcome. Sean, welcome. So that's
Sean.
The TRX4. That's might need to think about that one. I might have to. I like the Fusion so far, and that might give me a reason to purchase another one. And for $150, I mean that's a brushless motor and a built-in speed controller. I mean, built into it. It's a good. It's fully programmable. I like that. Paul says he'd like a Capra himself too. So, you're selling your last TRX4, huh, Sean? Wow.
He's going to wind up with nothing but
Hard bodies.
axial and RC 4-wheel drive stuff.
Right. When did you purchase? I'm sure you've placed your order for this already, but your 124 scale RC. Joe, you say
Probably
it's like
why he's selling it.
It's a snail in low gear, but I bet it's so smooth and so much control and power in low gear. I can only imagine.
Now, does that setup have the 200% drag brake on it?
Is it 200%? I didn't bring the program card for that one, did I? No, I didn't. I only brought the other one.
Wow, 200%.
I don't know if it's
drag brake.
200%, but let me tell you this: I have it on the 6x6, and I have it turned up. I think all the way, and it holds on any incline. It does not move.
Right, it's like dropping anchor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, Paul. I bet. I think I don't know why I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, with the 2-speed, I bet it does work great. But yeah, that drag brake on that Fusion was, yeah. Once I dialed it in, and I had to play with the settings because it was the initial hit when you would let off was really hard. It was actually the 6x6. It was initially kicking the buff back end up a little bit, so I had to play with the settings on it. But once I got that set up, like I have a video on it, and in the video I have it on an incline like this, and it just sits there.
I seen when you ran it over at Joe's. Coming down like that flat brick.
Yep.
It just sat there, it didn't move.
Exactly. Yeah, I have the 1800 as well, Joe. In my 6x6. I guess they do have the 2200, right? That's the other one, the 1800, 2200 in the Fusion.
Yeah.
So maybe the 2200 for TRX4 just for slightly more wheel speed, maybe. But honestly, the wheel speed in the 6x6 is plenty good enough. Granted, it's straight axle, but yeah, 2-speed, I think it would be fine. I think I have a new target for the TRX. I don't show that vehicle much love, so maybe I'll treat it to spend a little bit of money on it and put a really nice motor in it.
Yeah, I've got a few of those.
Because I literally just beat the crap out of that thing. Like it, for anybody that doesn't know, I won that rig brand new. I think I had $78 into winning that rig on a raffle.
Nice.
Wow, that was a good deal there.
A very good deal. So because of that, I treat that one probably the worst, even though I like it. I love the looks of it, but because I didn't really pay for it, so to speak,
Pay for it.
I beat the car. I've done so many things with that thing. I've launched it off of a tree 6 feet in the air, just launched it, not airing, and
Drive it like you rented it.
exactly. Drive it like I stole it. And it takes everything I give it. So Sean says he doesn't have many RC 4-wheel drive. They're mostly axial and boom racing. Big difference is they're all straight axle. Oh, Joe says the other one is a 1200 Fusion. Okay. So, but yeah, that might be exactly where I go with that. Yeah, that poor Blazer, I've got the 35 kg servo in it. And then Team Jaffe front metal shock towers because the Panhard mount started flexing on the shock tower. And a low center of gravity battery tray. That's it. That's all that thing's gotten.
I don't have much in any of my trucks right now. I don't think I've really done any upgrades to any of them. As far as my trail trucks, my 10-2 comp rig, I put aluminum C-hubs and SSD steering links on it, and that was about it. Then the UGRC chassis, that truck, that's all stock 10-2 stuff. Trans, axle, links. It's gonna end up getting aluminum hubs, the SSD drag link, and probably a different set of shocks. Just because that's straight up comp rig.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try and talk Jeremiah into doing a transmission for that chassis.
Yeah, Shade Tree, you're saying the TRX4 and the Cap are on the same way, that they're both super tough trucks, which I agree, but hard to tune to comp level crawling. And I know you also said that that's just an opinion, and we all have opinions, obviously, and we're entitled to them. So I agree they're both tough trucks, but I think they're both easily capable to be turned into great competition rigs. The Capra doesn't need much, honestly. A good motor, maybe a decent servo, and some shock.
You put decent electronics in it, and they work really well. I got mine as a kit. I've got a good servo, good Savox servo in it. It's got the Slate 2280 or 2250 brushless with the Micro Mamba X or the Micro X. It's got a set of Desert Lizard 100 millimeters on it, and that's it. And that truck, it's like a spider. That thing just climbs just about anything.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Capra is a great rig, really out of the box. But, of course, it's a different rig than a TRX4 Blazer, too. I mean,
right.
It's on a different level. But a TRX4, and you also depends on what TRX4 you're talking about. Are you talking about a sport, changing out the body? I have a Blazer. Love it. Love the looks of it. But that big body hurts it when you compete with it. I have competed with it. And if it wasn't for the big body, it actually competes good. It's just the body's big for class 2 or class 1 competing. But up until recently, I would say a TRX4 is the way to go for a comp build by a sport and build off that. That's what I would have said up until recently. And my mind's been changing on that with the element trucks. I mean, even a trail walker, love my trail walker. It's been great. And now with the Ecto, that rig is just super impressive. And it's pretty much class 2 ready to go out the box. So,
Yeah, I want to see how the sales go on that new Night Runner.
yeah, I don't like the IFS. That's my only thing. So, and Shade Tree, you got a good point here. All drivers are different. All courses are as well. And we're all different people. We like different things. You know, our driving's different. And as I learned today, competing today over here in Mississippi, Alabama area, the way they compete versus the way I compete back in my home area, it is different. The rigs that they've built over here are way different than the rigs that most of the guys build in my home, you know, area. Could I compete with them? Absolutely, I could, and had fun, but definitely different, just different. You know, and you're going to run across that everywhere you go. Everywhere is going to follow slightly different rules. You know, more Sorca, less Sorca. You know, hard bodies, Lexan. You know, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just
Yeah, like the courses that I run at, you know, they don't follow any Sorca rules. Their gates are set Sorca, but it's more or less, you know, what they're calling drivability competition is all they're doing, and it'll definitely make you a better driver, especially if you get out and you go to you know, like here with Nelson's Ledges. If you run there and you go to one of these comps that I've been going to, you'll be able to do really good, because a lot of the lines that you run here at Nelson's Ledges are kind of what they have on their courses when they set gates. And, you know, it makes for good practice, especially when you get out and you can find a good rocky area. You know, you can more or less tune yourself to the way that the truck drives. You know, just learn the truck and learn its capabilities, and you can really make that truck perform great with some, you know, some minor upgrades.
Yep, absolutely. That Element Ecto is so well balanced out the box. That's what I was impressed with. Getting to play with that well balanced rig out of the box. But Paul asked if any of us have driven an SSD Trail King. I don't really know that rig at all, so definitely not me.
I don't have one. I would like to get one, and from what I've seen, it's based off of the 10.2. A lot of the guys that do run them love them because it basically comes with all the upgrades already. And they're priced right where they need to be. You know, they didn't price themselves out of the market.
Shade Tree, I'm sure somebody will make trailing arms for the Ecto. I just don't know if they really need to. But I feel feel like I would bet money that somebody will make some arms for it. Just is it really going to be needed?
I think Trill will probably make them. But honestly, I would lose the trailing arms and just put regular links on it.
So you know what's funny about that is I have never driven. Well, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever truly driven a rig with trailing arms. Definitely a crawler. I've never driven a crawler with trailing arms. And when I first seen it, I was like, "Is that a good idea?" Driving it and seeing what it can do,
Right.
I wouldn't touch it. I'd leave that part alone. Like it works so well. It's got good flex, articulation. It does have a sway bar from the factory. Still has great articulation. The stuff that I've, seen it, well, personally seen it, come out of, like if any of y'all have watched the video I did do driving it, Exo Caged RC's Ecto at his place, the thumbnail for that video, it was literally on its side like this, and it pulled out of that. My Predator would have never pulled out of that.
Yeah.
Never. Now, is it because of the trailing arms or whatnot? I don't know. I think it was just because that truck's well balanced. And I don't know how much that really has to do with the trailing arms versus just how they positioned everything. But driving it, I wouldn't touch the trailing arms. I'd leave it alone. It runs that well. So. And I am honestly like, I want a Capra, and I will have a Capra at some point in time. But the question for me now is, do I think about getting a Capra as my next vehicle, or do I get an Ecto? That's my dilemma that I'm currently in.
I could help you out with that dilemma. Just get the Ecto.
And
I honestly, John, I quit driving my Capra.
Oh yeah?
It does everything too easy. And for where I go, nobody runs class 3 much. I think we ran a class 3 one time so far since I've been comping. And I have more fun with the class 2 setup.
See here, well, I say here where I'm, from my home, when we do run class 3, Capras aren't allowed in our class 3. So Capras have always had their own class where I'm at, because basically everybody's like, hey, it's a cheater rig, or it's that good. They never called it a cheater rig. They just said it's that good of a rig. It's just not, it's unfair to anything else in class 3. And I sort of see what they're saying. So they've always had a Capra class. And then, of course, the 6x6s came out, and it was the same thing. Hey, it's unfair to your class 3 rigs. So they had a 6x6 class. And I think what they're going to do, because they've both dwindled down a little bit, is just run 6x6 and Capras together, which, I'm fine with. But obviously, if they do that, I already have a 6x6. So I wouldn't be able to run a Capra and a 6x6 technically. I mean, I guess I could, but I'd pull in double duty. And I would be running class 1, class 2, eventually class 3, 6x6 and a Capra. I mean, that'd be a lot.
A Capra.
But I do want a Capra. I think I'll definitely get one day. Maybe I'll wait and pick one, the right deal up, be it a used one or something or whatever. But if I can't get I love my Predator build, and I will probably keep it because it's honestly my first truly comp build that I did. I would probably keep it because of that. But if I can't get it, it performs well. But if I can't get it performing a little better, then I'm gonna have to get me an Ecto. Because honestly, Joe's Ecto, granted, had a few mods done to it, outperforms my Predator.
What shocks do you have on that?
Some cheapies, cheap Amazon shocks, internal spring shocks, and I have the springs modified. So
Bring it down a little bit.
what's that?
Drop it down a little bit.
Oh, it's as low as it can go.
Do you have high clearance links on it?
I do. Yep. In fact, so I was with today Wilfredo Kane, who's a driver for UGRC.
Right.
He has his own Predator hard body, and
Yeah.
we had him together today. He was like, "Oh, dude, you're lower than me," and I quite a few millimeter lower on him.
Yeah.
So it's as low as it can get, which creates its own problems because when I'm that low, and I ran into it quite a few today, but I'm used to that. I'm not that concerned about this piece. I do get the belly does get caught up on things, certain rocks and stuff, but I've adapted to that and usually can see those spots and be like, all right, I gotta, add some wheel speed in there right before I get to that, or as I'm going up it just to give it some momentum. It can suck sometimes, but it's not really the end of the world. With it. But yeah, that's why I'm waiting on that transmission that he's working on, so I can move the motor and everything, get the motor lower and move it. And I think that will help. And what I heard about the V2 chassis as well, there's some things I heard that I liked about it. I haven't seen it obviously, but what I've heard, so those may make the difference. I don't know, but nonetheless, the Ecto is, for the price,
right,
can't beat it. Basically $400 shipped for a comp ready rig, and you do a couple small little things. And I guess it's my understanding the ESC that comes in it is programmable. They will have a program card at some point for it that's not out yet. That'd be interesting because
JMH, pull one of them up.
You might be able to program that.
Can you pull one of them up?
What's that?
Can you pull one of them up? See what they look like? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I can pull one up. But even if they don't come out with that program card, you put a $45 1080 in there, and even with it's a 5-slot motor from the factory, which I think Joe did a pinion change on it and got decent performance out of it. I think the Crawlmaster Sport is definitely a better motor, but so let's see here. That's it right there.
Oh, okay.
So it's got plastic bead locks, fake winch in the front, but straight axle. The body is Paul says the Reedy program card comes in 2 weeks. I'm really curious to see what that program card, like what adjustability it's going to have. That'll be interesting to see, because that could be a game changer. I say a game changer. Maybe that's not the right word, but I mean, it's already a very good rig stock. And if you can make some good settings, like if you can do the same thing you can do with a 1080, there's $45 you save right there.
Right.
And you already got a 5-slot motor stock. Okay, let me put a $20 Holmes Crawlmaster in it. And the stock servo, because it's not a heavy rig, the stock servo, if you can bump the voltage up, does very well so far at the higher voltage. Do some
Now
good
that's going to be class 1 or 2?
class 2. This is a class 2 truck.
Class 2.
Yep. Do some better foams in those tires, or just simply throw a good set of tires on there. You're ready to go. Take off the headache rack or whatever you want to call it on the back, unbolts.
Yeah, lose the roll bar, the mirrors, and the antennas.
Yep. I'd probably leave the
Yeah.
mirrors for the heck of it. Yeah, the antenna definitely, because the gates that we run here. Paul says it's a Hobby Wing program card. Really? That's interesting. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, I know that headache rack isn't very heavy. It's plastic, but still that's higher up weight. I know Joe took his off of his. But it's a comp body. I like the yellow too, to be honest.
Now, as far as that front bumper, does that front bumper give any issues for approach angle?
A little, not bad, but a little, yes. They're obviously, when I drove it at Joe's, I think I hit it once or twice. I didn't pay enough attention to see if it could be pushed in anymore. Granted, you have the fake winch on there, which I'm sure you could probably remove.
Right.
And I'm sure somebody's going to come out with some bumpers for that thing. Honestly, where I'm at, I would probably 3D print me some bumpers like I have on the Predator, basically, and just call it done. But it was fine. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Paul said he heard that the Hobby Wing cards may even work now. That's interesting because I have like 5 of those things laying around. And AZ says the digital ones may work with an update. Could be worth a try. I need to ask Joe. I know he swapped out the ESC, but I'm curious if he's tried a program card. That's really, these tires don't look all that aggressive on this thing for like competition wise, but I've been impressed in the videos that I've seen. I've seen some pretty impressive climbs on, some places with these tires, and they're not like, I looked at those and was like, okay, that's just a good trailing tire, is what I see out of it. But they've actually, from what I've seen in videos, have done really well.
Huh.
Now, granted, I know ExoCage put trenchers on his, and that's what I drove it with, was the trenchers, and that was G8 compound, not Predator compound, and it was very well.
And the truck's got to be light.
Yes, I think Joe said stock it's around 5 pounds 3 ounces, and I think he's got his just under 5 now, and he's actually added some brass to it. Like he's, done a few things. He's still just under 5 pounds, I think, with a little bit of brass on the front. And to me, that's it, right around 5 pounds for a good comp rig. It's a good truck, very good truck.
I think when he did that video, he showed it on the scale. It was 6238, and it was, I want to say, 4.8 pounds.
Sounds about right. Yep. Did you watch his video? He put it up against his SV1.
No, I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I watched that this morning on the way to the competition, and that SV1 truck, I've driven that. That's a great truck, very well proven truck, and watching that video, But watching that video this morning, the Ecto put up a very good fight. A very good fight against that. I mean, they, depending on how you looked at it, they were even. And I think you put the Predator compound tires on the Ecto, and I think the Ecto would edge out the SV1. So,
Wow.
yeah. So one of the things at Joe's place, his famous, the Nasty, very deceiving obstacle. I remember the first time I saw it on video, I'm like, oh man, I can climb through. That's easy. Go out there. I have not cleared that thing from front start to finish. I've cleared all the pieces at different times. I've never been able to just start it and get through every piece with any rig that I have. Not been able to do it. My Predator can't do it.
Have you been able to do Crack of Doom with no problem yet?
No. Crack of Doom's the hardest of all of it. The Crack of Doom is the hardest. And me and Joe, when I was out there just recently, we were discussing it. The Crack of Doom does not like light rigs. You need a little wider on the axles and a little bit of weight. My Predator is, under 5 pounds.
Right.
Doesn't like it. SV1, he's made it before with it, and I think particularly he's found the right spot now for SV1, and I think maybe I can do it if I can hit the same spot that he hits with the Predator. I might be able to do it, but the Ecto, still a light rig, can do it at a different location than SV1 can do it, and does it very well. So, a Guru Trail Walker is it's an Element Enduro.
Totally, yeah.
So, I mean, but yeah, the seeing the Ecto go through there and clear that fairly easily is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was nice to see that right out of the box can do that.
Correct. Exactly. I think I messaged Joe and I'm like, what? Like, seriously? it did it very well. But that there's a lot of, it was even today where I was at, like, it is amazing how deceiving obstacles are. Especially on video. There's quite a few of the obstacles at Joe's. You're like, see it on video and you're like, oh, I can clear that. That's no problem. And you get out there and it's like, whew, it is not, or you watch him cross some of these things. He makes it look so easy. And you go out there and it's like, how do you do that? Like,
no, I'm like, man, why ain't these guys flipping over yet? I'm already on my lid already.
Yeah.
It's so top heavy.
But yeah, the Nasty is very deceiving. I remember I really thought I could go out there and just breeze through that thing. And
yeah, some of those, they do look like you were saying, I can do that. But then when you get out there and you look at it and you see him doing it, like, yeah, okay.
Is that at his house or is it at a?
It is. It is. It's in his backyard. So obviously he has a lot of experience on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's also, full credit. He's a good driver, period. But he obviously has a lot of experience, on it. And when I was driving the Ecto out there, I was recording and I decided to pull a Joe. I normally record with I usually have something attached to my remote so I can use both hands and sort of, record. I decided that day to pull a Joe and record with one hand and one hand drive it. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, how the crap does he do this? Like, I had to really stop and like, okay, what am I doing? Okay. Like, think about things, And he makes it way too easy. So
Yeah, every time I see him, you know that he's, driving one-handed. I'm like, there's no way.
yeah, he's definitely made it an art form. And Paul, you're right. I pretty much already talked myself into an ecto. It's just a matter of when I actually decide to pull the trigger. And if you make it down to come to Exoplex, make sure you let me know because I'll come out. I'm an hour from it. I'll come over and play. So it's a great place, and he's got a lot of plans for it. So it's only going to get better. So, yeah, it's not a massively huge place, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of great lines to play on and have some fun. A lot of good testing. So, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I seen other people back there.
yeah. That day,
So
I actually reached out to him. Had reached out and I said, "Hey, can I come out Sunday and do some testing?" He's like, "Sure, come on out." And so then he went ahead and posted it up and was like, "Hey, anybody want to come out and play?" So
so it's at his house, but it's a park too, right? That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Well, I mean, it's literally in his backyard. You pull into his yard and pull around to the back. And,
yeah.
it's there. He's got a good piece of property. He's cleared out a bunch of stuff here recently to open it up to make more room. More room for more crawling stuff, but he's gonna, he wants to do probably some off-road racing and definitely the jumping and stuff, which that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So it's nice to have that, not too far from me.
Yeah, no doubt.
If I could make it down to USTE next year, I wouldn't mind taking a stop over at his place.
Yeah, basically he's, I'm 2 hours from USTE. He's slightly closer, but a little bit more north. Yeah, hour and a half or so from USTE. So yeah, it's definitely doable. Yeah, Paul, I think, there's some unevenness there, but for the most part, I don't think you'd have a problem. It's there's a couple little places, but they're easy to go around. Welcome. But yeah, I'm already looking forward to USTE. So
Yeah, I just need to get my vacation time so I can get my dates situated and plan a week vacation. Just be going.
Well, and I'm pretty sure I haven't talked to him recently, but I know when I seen him at Stone Mountain, he said, "Oh, it's a yearly thing." But I know Brett is supposed to be coming back down to UST.
Yeah, he was saying he's going to go back.
Yeah, after he went this year, he's like, "Oh, this is a yearly trip from now on. Like this is just a yearly trip. Got to be here." So,
yeah.
And I agree. That's pretty much what it's become for me. I went, not the year before this one, and went that time, and I'm like, all right, can't miss this. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to try to camp this coming year or not, because there is a campground right around the corner.
Right.
Can't decide. Because I will say there's no hotels that are super close. Like, I think the closest hotels are like 45 minutes away. Which isn't bad, but I'm used to driving. Everything around me we always had to drive an hour to go anywhere. So it's not really that big of a deal. I usually stay at my buddy's house, which is 45 minutes to an hour away. But there is a campground literally right around the corner, and can't decide if I want to try to camp or not.
Yeah, I got to make it to Stone Mountain and USTE.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter in which order, as long as I get the one or both of them. Got to get out.
So, Guru, this event is in February every year. And give me a second, and I will tell you the exact dates.
Now that's Jacksonville, Florida.
So USTE is in Willingston.
Willingston. Okay.
So it's more center-ish of the state, sort of. And let's see, February 18th through the 20th of 2022. Yes, USTE. There is a website that's ultimatescaleTruckExpo.com is the website. You can sign up for newsletter and stuff. I think tickets go on sale November. So,
and that's somewhere, Guru, that you can bring your fifth scale and bash it.
Absolutely. There's a Basher Park. Trying to let me. I'm trying to find their pictures. If I can find their pictures, I will. Let's see here. Oh, that's a longer video than I want to give or play, I should say. Those are all long videos. So I can tell you that I have videos for UST 2021 and UST 2020, and I think I have them under sorry, I'm having a brain fart. It's been a long day, but a playlist. I know ExoCage RC has probably 70 videos in the last 2 years. But there's plenty of videos out there. Check them out. Scale trails, they're phenomenal. It's not a competition. It's just they have roughly 10 trails, and it's more about scale. And the scale stuff you see is phenomenal. There is some RC car showy style stuff, but they have the semi trucks now, and I think they're talking about having not off-road, but construction vehicles this coming year, and everything. And they have the Basher Park, which is where he's talking about you can bash your fifth scale. The Basher Park is a lot of fun. 7-foot ramp, you can just launch your RC up in the air. So, yeah, we got to see that Raminator jump off that. That was great.
That's a lot of money to jump.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You're not lying. You are not lying. But it jumped so well for being as big as it is. That thing jumped really well. That was impressive. But I mean, typically you've got Holmes Hobbies usually there. RC Every Day is there. Vendors are there like crazy. I mean, J Concepts, Elements, Red Cats.
You got GCM Racing.
GCM Racing. I mean, people are coming from out of the country, to this year. I don't think we really had too many out of the country because of everything, but yeah, it's not that close to Ohio, Guru, but I can tell you it is worth the trip. Honestly, you talk to Venture Time RC Brett, he'll tell you he came this year from Ohio. It was worth it. Great people. Everybody's super nice. Meet some awesome people out on the trails. It's an awesome event. So,
and he's 2 hours closer than I am.
Guru's 2 hours closer than you?
Brent from Adventure Time. He's 2 hours closer.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think he said it was about a 15 or a 16-hour drive, so it'd be about 17, maybe 18 for me.
Okay, sounds about right. Of course, you're wanting to hit Stone Mountain. You stop and make a pit stop in Atlanta, either going or coming back, and hit Stone Mountain while you're there. That'd be a great, because from Stone Mountain, basically from that area to there is another 5 to 6 hours. So
Yeah, Stone Mountain is 10 and a half from here. And that sucked for me with that event because our hotel was already booked, and we were going to hang out with the Kibblers and just go off and do another crawl the following day. And, then everything just kind of came to a dead stop.
Yep. Yeah, we went out the next day, Joe, myself.
Now, that's when you guys were up on the backside of the mountain, right?
Yep. Which was super steep. Wow, that thing was super steep.
Who was it that rolled their truck down there? Was that Larry Hazelwood?
Larry rolled his, and so did Cody from Dixieland RC.
Oh,
I hadn't made it to them at that point, so I missed those. I'm walking in the trail, like walking into him, and I passed Cody, and I'm like, what happened? He goes, I rolled it, and I think it was a servo horn or something. I was like, you need one? He goes, no, I've got one. I was like, all right. And then I get there, and Larry's got his, and he did some damage on his. That was a really steep hill. But we still had fun that day. We didn't spend too long there on the steep part, but we found some other stuff to do. We had a good time.
Yeah.
That's Stone Mountain was a lot of fun. I look forward to next year for Stone Mountain. It's definitely a good place to go have fun.
They've got an event either this weekend or next weekend. They're doing another one already.
I thought they were supposed to have had one. I thought it was today.
Maybe it was today.
Yeah, I want to say I saw it. Let me look. I swear I thought I saw Wayne post earlier.
Well, you know what? It was today because he was doing the induction.
Yes, an induction. You're absolutely right. Trying to see if I can quickly see. I thought I saw it earlier today where I saw he posted something with Honolulu. That was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. Actually, what's funny is we were just talking about the Ecto. I found out about the Ecto at Stone Mountain. We were at dinner with a group of us. I think Cody from Dixieland was there and some other people, and I found out that night about the Ecto coming out. I didn't know its name. I just knew it was an Element crawler coming out, and just knew little bits and pieces, not enough to put it all together really, but
right.
But found out about it for the first time. So yeah, the USTE, the amount of people you meet there that are awesome, the scale of the builds are phenomenal. And Paul said he'd like to meet Schultz from over at Element. I would too. Element was there this year, and I didn't know who he was. I now know who he is, and hopefully he's there this coming year. Because I'd like to pick his brain on some stuff on my DR10. So. But let's see who else. Scalar Fab. They're there.
This was the first year for reefs too, wasn't it?
No, because they were there the year before, actually. So I don't know how long they've been coming, but they were there the year before because my first year, um, we went to the 124 scale crawling trail they had, and I was there with a couple buddies, and the reefs guy were already there. It was Red Cat's first year, but the reefs guys were on the trail, and we sort of caught them, and there was this one sort of tree that they were trying to crawl, and they were joking about, oh, we should have a little wager on who can get the furthest up this tree. And so we were like, okay, let's see what y'all can do, and so it was a couple of the reefs guys and my buddy and his buddy, and I was there, but I think I recorded some video and just watched. And my buddy actually got the furthest, so reefs gave him some stickers and
Nice.
what else. But and we joked around about like, hey, next year you should have the reefs 124 scale challenge or something like that. So, yes, Paul, Scalar Fab people are good people. You're absolutely correct. They are very good people. Very, very nice. I have a few of their products. Very good products. Great people. Easy to talk to. So
I can't believe he does everything out of his shop at home.
Yep. So he used to, I didn't know this until this year. They used to be from Jacksonville, St. Augustine area, where I'm at. In fact, I guess when they come down to this event, they make it like a week or 2 long vacation, and they go see family or whatever from my area.
Weren't they in Colorado?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's where they're at. Definitely out that way. So it takes them like 7 days or something to get down here.
Yeah, I know he said that they made the move, was it last fall?
I'm not going to win, but yeah. But yeah, they got some good products for sure.
Yeah, I need to get a couple of his bumpers or some skids.
Yeah, I need to reach out to him. I love my the bumpers that are on my trail walker, front and rear. Phenomenal, like just perfect for a comp build. Right. And they make for the 6x6, they make a front bumper, but it's this like big bulky bumper, and I don't want that. I basically want what's on my trail walker for the 6x6. So I was going to reach out to them and see. I've been told they'll custom make you anything you want, and see if they would make that same bumper style for the 6x6.
Well, he had his Unimog there with that bumper that he made for that. So
I didn't see it. I didn't have a 6x6 then. So.
Oh, you didn't have it at USTE?
Oh, wait a minute. I did have it at UST. You're right. No, I'm sorry. I did have it. But I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking about doing anything to it at that time. Like I wasn't sold on it at that time. Let me put it that way. I've changed my view on it. Now that I've done a couple little things, I've done tires on it and servo, and now the Fusion, like I'm really starting to like that rig. So
right.
I wasn't thinking about doing anything to it whatsoever. And we do have the 6x6 class, and I've pretty much decided I'm going to compete this year with it in 6x6 class. So because of that, I need to, it needs little things like better clearance bumper would be good for it. Really a better body would be good for it to try to get some weight down. I just don't know what I want to do body wise. But all right, I just realized it's 11:15, and my son is.
Is that him saying my dad rocks?
Yes. Yeah, old nose right. So stop. And we have to get up in the morning and do our 6 or so hour drive back home. So.
Yeah, my daughter's down in Alabama right now with my grandsons and her boyfriend. They went down for vacation to see his mom, and they're right on the Gulf.
But
So she's having a good time.
I'm on the Gulf too, so they must be right here. In this, I mean, granted, there's a few places through here, but
yeah, they're on like a private island.
I don't know the stuff. I bet you
Orange something.
um,
Orange Village.
yeah, it's not that far from where I am. So.
Yeah, she marked 3 things on her bucket list, which was to take her kids on a vacation, walk on the beach on white sand, and to actually go in the ocean. And she's done it all, and she even sent some videos with dolphin pods swimming by.
That's about the best thing about the ocean is seeing dolphins. Outside of that, I don't like the ocean. So,
Yeah. Too much
Yeah,
water.
I heard that, man. You don't know what's in the water.
I'm in Mobile, Alabama right now, is where I am. And your mom's in Cape Coral. I am so sorry. I hate Cape Coral with a passion. But that's because of work stuff. But yeah, I've lived in Jacksonville, Florida, basically all my life, and I hate the ocean. I really do. I hate the ocean. Like, I hate to go to the beach. That's what I should say. I don't like going to the beach. I like it more now because I can take RCs and play. Cape Coma, you are absolutely correct. Sean, see you later. But I'm not a beach person. Ever. Don't really like salt water. I live probably 20 minutes from the beach. And have I been this year? No, I have not been this year. No, I'm sorry. I've been to the beach once. I'm sorry. I've been once this year. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I need to get some sleep before hitting the road tomorrow. And Dennis, if you got anything you want to say, I'll let you go around real quick.
John, thanks for the invite.
Yes, sir.
Always great time being on with you guys. And anybody that's watching that planned on coming to Ohio for my other event for Operation 11 Charlie, sorry that we're not going to be able to do it. If anything does change, I will post it.
Yeah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
For sure. So, KB, you got anything?
The same thing, man. Thanks for the invite. It's always good Saturday nights. And thumbs up on the way out.
Definitely. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank KB and Dennis for hopping on the panel tonight. Thank my son for being a pain in the butt. I also want to give a shout out to the Mississippi RC Outlaws. Had a lot of fun today. Thank you guys. If y'all see this. Next week, we will have a special guest. We'll be announcing it later this week. It will be a YouTube channel. We will be doing an interview of a YouTube channel. So if you caught the Axiomatic Productions interview a few weeks back, it's basically going to be like that, but with another channel. I look forward to this one. I think it's going to be fun. So that's what we'll be doing next Saturday. So be looking for that. We'll be publishing that out probably a little earlier in the week. So everybody's aware of that. So that'll be next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's Talk RC. And thanks for joining us. And everybody, I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday evening and a good Sunday. Enjoy RCs, and we'll see y'all next week.